This book is good. Is real good. Hello, my bookworms. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sydney, and today's video is the start of a new series on my channel that I am very excited about, and I'm calling it Bookish Roulette. Let's explain the game, shall we? Now, I don't know if something like this has been done before. I did a little search. I didn't really find anything particularly close with it, so I'm coining the term. That's what I'm doing. And if there is any confusion, I am going after like the revolver, like the gun roulette game, you know, the deadly one, not the gambling one. So basically, how this game works is I will be using my spin the bottle TBR, the board that I use for the game, that is. And like in typical roulette fashion, there will be 6 different books in play. The one that will have like the bullet is the one that I don't want to read. And then the other 5 books will be books that I do want to read. And they will be spaced around the board, and I will give the bottle a spin and we'll see where it lands. And then in this video, we will read that book. So when I move the camera to go over the board, you will see that on my TBR game board, all of the spaces that don't have just a single color on it, I have put a black kind of placeholder, because if the bottle lands on those placeholders, then we will just keep spinning until I land on an actual book. For future installments of this series, I do plan on making like a overlay that I will put on top of the board to only have 6 spaces. But for right now, we're working with what we got, and this is what we got. So if I land on one of those just plain black prompts, it'll be like a miss, like the gun jammed or something. I don't know. That's what we're doing. So I will move you. We will spin the game, shoot the gun, so to say, and we'll see what we land on. So I lived to see another day, twice. I decided to push my luck because obviously the first spin landed on Jane Eyre. The second spin landed on Jane Eyre again. So it really wants me to read Jane Eyre, which I have right here. However, I have requested the audiobook on Leevy, and I feel like reading and listening to this at the same time would be very beneficial to me since I haven't really read classic literature like ever. So that's why I decided to spin a second time. One reason, because I'm a daredevil, what can I say? And then 2, because I don't have that audiobook yet. So I wanted to try to land on something that I could start either today or tomorrow. And we ended up landing on Kingdom of Flesh and Fire by Jennifer L. Armentrout, which I was super excited about. Because it's almost the end of the month here in May, and I haven't gotten to either of these books, and these both were on my scheduled TBR, and I did want to read both of them. So will I get both of them done before the next month starts? Probably not at all, but that's fine. So this is the sequel to From Blood and Ash. That took me way too long to remember. Oh my god. This is the sequel to From Blood and Ash. Yep. And in it we follow Poppy, who is the maiden. She is basically awaiting for her ascension to see if she is to be chosen worthy by the gods. However, she gets this new bodyguard named Hawk, who is tempting her with the forbidden, which is her breaking all the rules of her never to be looked on, never to be touched, and never to feel pleasure. And Hawk is tempting her with all of these things. And From Blood and Ash left off on a huge cliffhanger, so I am very excited to pick this up and see what's happening, what's going on in this world. And yeah, so this will be the first one that we read in this vlog, and then we will read Jane Eyre, which will be, it's a classic by Charlotte Bronte, and I don't know anything about it, but this is the classic that Caleb thought that I would like most out of any classic. So I'm hoping that I do like it, because then it might make me more excited to read others. However, we will start with Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, and I will come back when I've read some of it. Okay, bye. Okay, so hey, me and Avi and Juno, we're just hanging out. It's been a couple days since I updated you. Honestly, I had a really terrible week last week. I don't really need to get into it here, but it's taken me a little bit longer to finish Kingdom of Flesh and Fire than what it normally would, because I had to take a few days off from doing absolutely anything. But I am here, and I am here to update you. I am this far. I only have a little bit left in Kingdom of Flesh and Fire. And how I feel about this book, I think that From Blood and Ash walked so Kingdom of Flesh and Fire could run. Like, even from the first chapter, I love this book so much more, like so much more than From Blood and Ash. I don't know if maybe part of it is because Poppy is kind of like not the annoying prim and proper maiden as she was in From Blood and Ash. That may be playing a role in some sense, but also like the writing in this book is so much better than From Blood and Ash. I don't know if anyone else agrees with me on that, but like I just can tell that Jennifer L. Armentrout really found what she wanted to do more in this book, or like how she wanted to say it. I don't know. I know that she's an experienced writer and that she is good at what she does, obviously. And it very well could just be like how my mind is taking in the book. Maybe my mindset's a little bit different than when I read From Blood and Ash, but I genuinely, like, in my heart, just feel like this book is just so much better. It's so much better. I really, really love the expansion of the worlds and of the creatures that we are coming into contact with. And girl, is it steamy. Whoo! This book is good. Is real good. This is not a book that you want to be listening to out loud on your audiobook. You definitely need headphones for this one. but it is really good. It was okay, I don't know what else you want me to say about it, but it's steamy and fantastically written. Why did I talk like that? This is weird now. But yeah, the story itself is definitely going in a way and at a pace that I just love. I'm here for it. So we are going to finish this today. I'm gonna sit here, right here, until I finish it. It's raining today. It's super gloomy outside. I can hear the raindrops. It is a beautiful atmosphere for a day of reading. So that's what we're doing. So I will see you so soon in a few hours when I finish this book, but I can already tell you it's real good. I really, really am loving it. Welcome back. I know, makeup. Who is she? I don't know. I have to film today, so I did my face and washed my hair. It's still wet. Yeah, hey, I finished Kingdom of Flesh and Fire yesterday. I feel like I said most of what I already want to say for it, but ultimately, like, this was so good. This book was just so much better than From Blood and Ash. Like, From Blood and Ash was good, but Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, I can't speak. Kingdom of Flesh and Fire slaps. This was so good. I really, really enjoyed, like, the relationship development, and the smut was real nice. Yeah, I'm just super intrigued. It took all of me to not just pick up the third book in the series. I have to read my TBR for this coming month. I don't want another punishment prompt for my spin the bottle game. But I am very much looking forward to continuing this series. I think that the third one is going to pop off, so to speak. But yeah, so I mean, obviously I gave it a 5 out of 5. So the next book in this vlog is Jane Eyre. So I'm still waiting for it to come in the be available on Libby for me on audiobook, because that's definitely one that I want to listen to and read with my eyeballs. I think it would just make it a little bit easier for me. So that's what we're doing. I'm waiting for that to come in. And then when it comes in, you'll see me again for this vlog. I'll see you soon. I hope you're having a great day. Hello, welcome back to this vlog. It has been quite a while since I have been in this video to update you, but truth be told, it took a long time for my audiobook copy of Jane Eyre to be available to me on Libby. And since this is one of the first classics that I've really ever read willingly, I wanted to actually wait for the audiobook so I can listen and read at the same time. I just think that it would help me get through it and maybe understand it more. I'm not sure because I don't really know what I'm in for. However, I did get a new copy of Jane Eyre because I was on a little vacation with my mom. We went hiking and we stopped in at this little like used and new bookstore, and it was really, really cute. And they had one of the most beautiful copies of Jane Eyre I've ever seen. I know it's super like minimal, but I am actually like obsessed with it. Oh my God, it's so pretty. They have this whole line of classics with like the diamond thing up there. I also got a few other classics that I'm gonna put in a book haul soon. But I did get my own copy of Jane Eyre. In case I wanted to annotate, I didn't want to like annotate up Caleb's copy, which is the one that I was gonna read. But regardless, we are reading Jane Eyre now. Last night I started reading it. I made it to page 103. And if you don't know what Jane Eyre is about, it's basically about Jane Eyre, whose parents died, and then she was living with her aunt and uncle. Her uncle was her mom's brother, and he ended up dying too, but he, on his deathbed, basically made sure that Jane's aunt would continue to take care of Jane because she's an orphan. Her aunt just like is a mean, horrible person, like hates Jane and is very, very cruel to her, as well as her cousins and so on and so forth. So ultimately, Jane Eyre gets sent to this academy, school, where she is now living. And on the back, it is saying that the novel describes the passionate love between the courageous orphan Jane Eyre and the brilliant, brooding, and domineering Rochester. So Rochester, I think, like runs the school. And eventually, while Jane grows up, I think that she takes a position at a governess at the Thornfield Hall where she is living. And she falls in love with her sardonic employer. Her discovery of his terrible secret forces her to make a heart-wrenching choice. And it says that it's an unforgettable portrayal of a woman's quest for self-respect. Obviously, I'm not too far into it. 103 pages is okay. And I don't have too much of a thought. I am pleasantly surprised by the writing style. Caleb told me that Charlotte Bronte wrote this when she was like 15. That's absolutely wild to me because it's written pretty well. And for the time that it was written in, it's not like too old Englishy, like it seems like it has held up very well. So I was pleasantly surprised by the writing. I wasn't sure what to expect. And so far, my only other like real thought is that I really like Jane Eyre. She is very smart, too smart for mostly everyone she comes in contact with. And I just love how like strong-willed she is, and I can definitely see that she's fighting for like self-respect and respect from others. So I can already kind of feel a bond forming between Jane Eyre and myself. So that's good. I mean, it's the most that I could hope for at this point in the book. So I just wanted to come on and like introduce it and say like, hey, I am reading this, and I will update you once I get further or finish, probably get further. So I will see you later, my dudes. Okay, hey. I'm like 175 pages into Jane Eyre, and to be completely honest, I feel like this book is never gonna end. Yikes. I feel like I was just expecting a little bit more of like a spook factor or a little bit more of the eerie feeling. And thus far in the story, it kind of just feels like a story, about Jane Eyre's life, which I was expecting, but I was expecting it to be, again, just like a little bit more spooky. However, I'm not enjoying it. I'm just, at this point in time, I feel like it's dragging a little bit. I work tomorrow and it is about like 5 p.m. right now. So I'm gonna go make dinner and eat dinner and so on and so forth. But right now I am just feeling like it's dragging a little bit. But after I work tomorrow, I plan on getting a good chunk of it done and hopefully finishing it within the next 3 days. And I'm just hoping that it picks up a little bit. I'm hoping that my mind changes. But until then, that's the update. I will talk to you later. Okay, hey, this will be a really quick update. I just wanted to hop on because feelings have changed. It's like 11 p.m. I worked today and I got home, ate dinner, and then read more of Jane Eyre. I read like 100 pages straight, and normally after work, I can't like stay up and read for long. I don't know what happened. Maybe I was having an off day yesterday, but like the only reason that I'm not reading now is because it's 11 p.m. and I have to wake up again for work tomorrow. So like I have to go to bed, but I wanted to just kind of pop back on and update the vlog in a more positive light. No, I work again tomorrow, so I'm planning on finishing the book on Thursday. And I also am doing reading sprints on Thursday on my channel. So, but yeah, I have to go get ready for bed, but I am feeling better and I'm enjoying it a lot more. I don't know what changed. I don't know if anything changed. Maybe I was just like in a mood, you know? But yeah, I'll be back. Let me move my yogurt out of the way. Okay. I finished Jane Eyre just now. I really liked the ending. I really liked it. Okay, let me back up. Last night, I got home from work and I read probably another like 100 pages or so. And Caleb and I had like a 45-minute discussion together about Jane Eyre and just like Gothic literature in and of itself. Caleb studied books like Jane Eyre. Like he was an English major in college. He had a triple major, but one of them was English. So he read a lot of books in college. And he told me before I started this book that it is considered like Gothic literature, right? And it has this like atmospheric, eerie feeling about it. And I had told him, I'm just going to give you like a short little recap of our conversation. And I had told him that I feel like it's not super Gothic. Like throughout the book, like there was maybe like 3 like spooky scenes, right? And apart from those like few pages, it was more so focused on like the romance and just like Jane Eyre's life. And he was getting very defensive because he's like, no, this is considered Gothic literature and so on and so forth. And it was a very spirited conversation. But ultimately what I was trying to say was I recently, like in the last like 6 months or so, I read Mexican Gothic by Silvia Murillo Garcia. And that book is like, for me right now, as far as like the things that I've read, is like the pinnacle of Gothic atmosphere. That book just did such a good job at making me feel uneasy and giving me those like super eerie atmospheric vibes throughout the entire book. So I was kind of expecting to feel similar to that. And I didn't. I didn't really feel like this was super atmospheric. It was more just like descriptive. Again, this is just my feeling. Like I know that this is considered like legitimately within like the Gothic literature realm. I'm not denying that, contrary to Caleb's belief when I was expressing my opinions. But even though I didn't really feel that like eeriness, that atmosphere throughout the entire book, I was still obviously able to really appreciate it. Like the writing, first and foremost, I really enjoyed. Sometimes it was a little hard to understand, like I had to read some pages over because it's written in like kind of Old English in a way. So I'm not used to reading books in that form of language, so I had to make sure that I was understanding. But like the descriptions and the character building, like I really commend this book. It was beautiful. It was really well done. I mean, it's a classic, right? So I mean, it's held up this long for some reason, and now I understand the reasons. I think that I was just expecting it to be a little bit more spooky, and maybe that was just my fault for taking that small part of what Caleb told me to expect a little bit too seriously, but it didn't make me not enjoy it. All in all, I think that this book is fantastic. I now understand why people love it. I definitely was in like peaks and valleys. In the beginning, like you saw, I felt like this book was never gonna end. I hit like a rough patch where I was like, oh my God, I'm so bored. But then after that 100 pages, like the rest of the book, it felt like it kind of flew by. Like absolutely felt like I got through it much quicker than the second like 100 pages or so. So all in all, I mean, that ending, it made me feel like it's a 5 out of 5. But I think in my heart, I gotta give it like a 4.5 out of 5, which I think is fair. I mean, like, even if you don't think it's fair, I mean, that's just like how I feel, you know? So I wanna give it like a 4.5 out of 5, feeling that some things could have been omitted, I guess. But it was a really good story of Jane Eyre growing up and finding herself and her independence and love, just like It was good. I'm glad I finally read it. Caleb will be happy to hear that I didn't hate it. So that's the end of this vlog. We read 2 very different books in this vlog, Kingdom of Flesh and Fire and Jane Eyre. This will be interesting to edit. So I think that's it. If you guys have any suggestions of books that I should add to this series, if you want to in the comments give me like your all-time favorite book and your least favorite book ever, do that down below in the comments, and then I will add those to the stack of potentials for my Russian roulette board game. But that's all, friends. If you don't have any suggestions for book titles, then go ahead and leave the fire emoji down below in the comments. And while you're down there, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like the video. I always appreciate your support. And of course, be kind to one another and happy reading. Bye.